All right. Welcome back to No Filter MMA. This is your boy BJ back with another video short, guys. So originally, what I consider the title eliminator at 135 was going down. It was going to be former champion Rocky Pennington versus long overdue number one contender Norma Dumont. And Norma Dumont, you got to give her props. She was ready. She was ready to go in there and fight Rocky. Rocky's accolades wasn't something that shied Norma Dumont away from a fight like that. She's been ready to fight that kind of competition for a while now. So, I think that was going to be a moment for Norma Dumont, and I hate that she doesn't get that opportunity anymore. But we have a new fight. We've got Ketlen Vieira stepping up. Ketlen Vieira said, you know what? I'll fight her. Nobody, short notice turnaround, short notice fight. I'll take it. Replacement fight. I'll take it. So Ketlen Vieira said, yeah, I'll get in there and do it. So this is going to be an interesting fight, guys. This is a fight this is a more winnable fight, I think, for Ketlen Vieira than the Kayla Harrison fight was. You know what I'm saying? Then again, as I've said, in Ketlen Vieira videos, it's hard to really say about Ketlen Vieira because you don't really know which Ketlen Vieira is going to show up. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say if this is a more winnable fight for her. But the trajectory that Norma Dumont is on right now, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really something, man. Norma Dumont has a lot of momentum. She hadn't lost at bantamweight. You know what I'm saying? She was, making a name for herself at featherweight. Beating the likes of like Felicia Spencer, etc. And there was a lot of questions surrounding. A lot of questions about whether Norma Dumont should have already been able to challenge for the title. And I think the answer was yes. I think that Norma should have already had her opportunity to fight because she's more than earned her spot, you know what I'm saying, across two divisions. But, a lot of questions were also around, who should step in and fight Norma, because even though Rocky pulled out, Norma still had to fight. Like Norma Dumont still had, they had to find somebody for Norma to fight. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they owe her at least that much. And there was some names floating around. There was some good names floating around that I would have been okay with. You know what I'm saying? They were saying, some people were saying that Island Perez should get the shot. And Island Perez herself called for it. She was like, I'll fight Norma. You know what I'm saying? They had some words before, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of a little bit of a story behind that. But Island Perez on a solid win streak, you know what I'm saying? She would have been a viable contender to go in there and fight Norma Dumont. You know what I'm saying? You got two girls in the bantamweight division that's on runs. You know what I'm saying? And Island Perez is one of them. She's going out there and she's winning fights. I had also proposed a theory of, them pulling Yana Santos, from that Macy Chasson fight. Pull Yana Santos from that Macy Chasson fight and make Norma versus Yana. You know what I'm saying? And then I think another, the third option that a lot of people were talking about, I think me and Combo included, was Ketlen Vieira. You know what I'm saying? So now you have Ketlen Vieira, who I believe is coming off of a win. Yeah. She's coming off of that win over Macy Chasson. So yeah, so that's a good win. I mean, that's a good opponent for Norma Dumont. So I'm excited to see what version of Ketlen Vieira shows up. If the correct Ketlen Vieira shows up, you know what I'm saying? That looks like a world beater that wants to win, that fights smart out there. If that Ketlen Vieira shows up, this could be a very interesting fight. Two big hard hitting Brazilian girls gonna go at it. And yeah, it just is what it is at this point. I'm excited for this matchup. This is really going to answer some questions. I think that Ketlen Vieira is one of those opponents where, a win over her in this division is a good win. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a solid win because Ketlen Vieira's put herself in that position, you know what I'm saying, fighting at the top of the division for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And then Norma Dumont, reaching veteran status, you know what I'm saying, who's been in the UFC for a while, racked up a lot of fights, after coming in and not looking so hot against Megan Anderson, and then just completely making a 180 and turning it around and become a totally different fighter. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on the fight switch up. Rocky Pennington out, Norma Dumont to face Ketlen Vieira now. And yeah, drop your comments in the comments. This is your boy BJ back from No Filter MMA. Drop those comments in the comment section. Hit that like, hit that dislike. And if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button and your boy is out.